What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Z-Man Show. I'm telling you, I am psyched. This was a wonderful episode tonight. It had so much action and just thriller-esque, just things going on inside. It was just amazing. We're talking season 10, episode 10, and the episode name is Stalker for The Walking Dead. Guys, what an amazing episode. There was just so much great stuff happening in here. Let's just get straight into it and just talk some of these highlights. And I'd love to know what you guys thought about the episode as well in the comments if you choose. So, we see the menacing Beta. We start off, and he's going down into those tunnels. We're like wondering, where's he off to? I'm thinking, is he going to maybe round up the herd? We saw some scenes of them, of Alpha also grabbing some of the herd from those mines in the mine area. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? They finally ready to retaliate and attack back. And, we find out that Beta comes right up in to Alexandria. I mean, now mind you, the chances of him actually digging and finding his way right where Dante's grave is, yeah, that's probably as far-fetched as can be. But all the same, how cool was it? I mean, his hands are coming up, and I was just like, holy shit, is Dante Zombie still coming back to do some more menacing harm? But no, it's Beta, and he's coming in, and he's got his blades. And as soon as I saw him, this was just me the entire time. I just had my hand over my mouth because you just knew, the havoc that man puts on everybody. And you see those two guys in the house, and they're just kind of talking things off, and they make some smart ass comment about whispers one-on-one or a joke, and I'm like, boy, you guys just have the worst timing ever. And that light goes out. I mean, he killed a lot of people in Alexandria tonight and turned them into a little mini horde walking force to cause some diversions while he searched for Gamma. So Gamma has fully betrayed Alpha, Beta, and the group of the Whispers, and she's trying to let our friends know where the mine, or excuse me, the cave entrances are, and this and that. Obviously, where our friends aren't fully trusting her. What were you thinking about Gabriel and his hardcore tactics now, and talking about pulling teeth and cutting off fingers and stuff? Personally, I kind of like it. I feel like Gabriel has grown so much, and that he fully gets it. A man of God, yes, but knows that in this world, God is not going to be there, behind your back saving you in that moment. You're going to have to do what's necessary. And I think Gabriel fully gets that picture, and he's willing to do what he has to do. And we see a little bit of animosity between him and Rosita. Obviously, Rosita is dealing with a lot of pressure. She has having nightmares. She had the nightmare of the whisper over her baby Coco, about to kill it. So there's a lot of things going on with her, and she recognizes. At first I was like, God, are we going to do this whole thing with Rosita again? But she recognizes she's not right, and so she decides to stay back before she goes out to search, as our survivors sort of devise a plan to go out and try and do a rescue party for the members that went out. So Daryl and Connie and all those guys, Kelly, except we know that a few of them are now stuck down in those mines due to the wonderful Carol and her crazy ass decisions, which we didn't see much of her tonight, so we'll have to see. It's probably too soon. Honestly, I don't really want to see her. I mean, she's making mistakes all over, but we already talked about that last week, that aside. But let's talk a little bit about Daryl and that standoff. So Daryl, he finds one of the mine entrances, right, to the caves or whatever. He sees what we believe is Alpha, right? And he manages to ambush one of her little parties or whatever, and basically goes toe-to-toe, well, with many of them. And, Daryl is a badass. I love his character, but man, he almost got what he deserved tonight, because I'm like, dude, you are a badass, but you can't take on all that by yourself. It's just not a good idea. And as you can see, he gets nailed in the eye, and it's like all bloody, red, he can't fully see. It's a miracle he made through what he did, and but he stabbed Alpha, a good one, right in the side of her upper chest, arm area, and she's bleeding out solid. But so she's kind of stalking him. So the Stalker kind of plays in a lot of different ways. We have Beta stalking Gamma in Alexandria. We have Alpha stalking Daryl. So Daryl makes it to that old gas station. Very cool, by the way. I love these scouts. I wish I had the money to pay for that for my Dead Nightmare series, so I could just find amazing rundown places. I'm gonna have to get out there and find some better stuff. But all the same, yeah. So Alpha's in there, and she starts clinking and making noise with her shotgun. So she's got a shotgun, and all Daryl has is a knife in his leg, pretty much, and not much else around him, right? Whatever, a crowbar I think he might have had or something. So yeah, a couple of really cool, nasty, gnarly walkers making their way up, and that was pretty intense, watching Daryl have to fend them off. Pretty lucky, but doable probably with his kind of skills and experience, right? But it's interesting that I guess Alpha must have been really, really jacked up again, and just like looked like an arm wound. But I guess it wasn't enough for her just to make her way off and just finish him off. I guess she was hoping if the walkers didn't do it, then he might just die, by bleeding out and so forth. And at first I was like, man, Daryl, get that knife out of your leg. But you got to think, whenever you take an arrow, a knife, anything out of that wound, the blood just starts gushing. And hats off to the props people. That was amazing. That blood just started gushing out of his leg, and I was just like, this guy's in trouble. Daryl is in super trouble, as if we didn't already know that, right? So, but what an amazing little scene. We had some talk between the two of them. Daryl even calls Alpha out, like, you couldn't provide, Lydia with what she needed, and that's why she didn't love you, and why she left. And Alpha didn't like that very much. She starts making her way over, I think, to finally end Daryl. And who shows up? Lydia. And I was thinking about it earlier in the episode. I'm like, man, when is Lydia going to come back into the picture? Of course, she's just going to kind of pop in for sure, but she does. And I got to be honest, I really seriously thought Lydia was going to take up the torch and lead the Whispers. I don't know. I just had this feeling. I mean, I know it seemed like she was trying to do good and with her relationship and, with Carol and Ezekiel's son and this and that, but I had this feeling, and it almost seemed for a second it was going to come to fruition, and then finally she says, no, and like this is why, they're human, and this is all I wanted. I wanted some kind of human connection, and you couldn't give that to me, and obviously Alpha's destroyed by that, and she's half out of it anyways, and she passes out, but she wasn't able to kill her mother. The Alpha wanted Lydia to push the knife in her, kill her, let her come back, and then lead the Whispers. Alpha does love her daughter, but just in a very sick and weird, twisted way. So, and obviously Lydia sees this all the more right then in that moment, and so she manages to save Daryl. So that was great. She saved Daryl. Daryl, obviously they have a relationship. Daryl is taken to Lydia, and it was a cool scene to see that he was saved by her. So. Yeah, the showdown in Alexandria, and just Gabriel, that scene when they're out there and they notice that, I guess, just kind of jumping around a little bit, but when he found a couple of their dead people and he finally realizes they must have been forced to call in that, oh yeah, we see the herd or we see this or that, and so it was all just a farce. I mean, let's face it, when you have a knife or a gun to your throat or this or that, and your life's on the line, you're probably going to be willing to say just about anything unless you're just super hardcore, which I hate to say it, but Alexandrians just really aren't. Maybe Daryl and a few others might, but not all of them. So I really can't put much against him on that. But yeah, that look on Gabriel's face when he's like, why would they call us out? And then he's like, nobody's back. That means they're attacking at home. And yeah, it was just crazy. And let's face it, Gamma was lucky she didn't get her head blown off when Beta managed to obviously snatch her. Well, kind of snatch her, not exactly. We'll talk about that in just a second. But when they're walking in the forest and basically on the road, and then Gabriel and his crew came up and Gamma dropped to the floor and Beta just booked it. Smart man, because he would have definitely gotten it. So yeah, let's talk about that. How about little Judith and Rick's revolver putting a bullet nice and upper center on Beta? That was badass. It was cool. It was really smart. Judith is smart. I like her little character. She's a great little actress, and she's doing the show some justice. So that's awesome. I love that comment she said to Gamma when she was in the cell, and she goes, if you would have met my mom and dad, you wouldn't be in this cell. You feel human again. You'd be seen, have a purpose, and be doing good things, or at least trying to do good things. And how so true. Alpha's way is not the only way, and we saw that carved into the wood, and Alpha saw that. I guess that was Daryl. Maybe it wasn't Daryl, actually, because he was half passed out. I guess Lydia's probably the one that carved that. Let me know what you think, though. But overall, what did you think about the episode? I mean, I really, really, really liked it. There's so much great stuff going on. I mean, we've seen, episode after episode of zombies and our friends dying and this and that, and some really dark times with Negan, but I still feel the show still has some life and some things to give, and I'm definitely going to try and stick it out to the end, because we're all things zombies here at Z-Man. Another thing I want to mention too in another episode is a little something I heard about Day of the Dead, so I'll just leave that teaser. Make sure to check out. I'm going to put a little short video, very short, maybe a couple minutes long, and we'll talk about that, what's coming up with Romero's old Day of the Dead movie, and a future possible series. And for ending this off, I'm going to give this episode a solid 9.0. It was very thrilling. I love thriller. I love the dark, the nighttime scenes. They have a mixture of daytime today too. But what a just great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We do these little small recaps. We've been doing it for quite some time, and I want to try and continue as long as we get some viewers coming out. And if you haven't check out my Dead Nightmare zombie series. It's no Walking Dead, but if you love everything zombies, you may just enjoy this too. We're working on episode 7 right now. So thanks everybody for coming out, and I will see you guys at the next Walking Dead review. See you guys.